Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today. In this video, guys, I'm going to show you guys the lower time frames because there are a lot of new developments there. And besides that, at the end of the video, I'm also going to show you guys the higher time frames. So for example, the 1 day time frame, because that is, of course, always important to take into consideration. But for now, let's just dive right in. So as some broader context on this 4-hour time frame, we are still breaking down from this symmetrical triangle pattern, and this does still have an active price target of about 69k in the Bitcoin price, so long as we do not get confirmed candle closes above this 85.5k level. Now, in the case that we do get confirmed candle closes above that point of the breakout, then I will have to cross off this price target and basically say that this whole pattern is no longer relevant. But until then, this is technically just the price target for Bitcoin. However, right now, as you may notice, we also on the same 4-hour time frame have this, well, what you might call a symmetrical triangle pattern once again. However, personally, I do not trust this as a breakout, and I will not be using this as anything other than basically just short-term support and resistance. Now, as far as a couple reasons why I'm not trading this as a specific breakout, of course I am still trading, but I'm trading on the lower time frames, not necessarily this pattern on the 4-hour time frame. Anyways, the point is, on Wednesday we have the FOMC meeting, which is likely going to cause a lot of volatility in the market. So it is good to be a bit more reserved in terms of your leverage on Wednesday, because like I said, likely there's going to be a lot of volatility leading up to the event, and then of course during the event as well. Besides that, we are also seeing decreasing volume on what should be a bullish breakout, so I don't like that either. And there is also something on the 2-hour time frame that I'm going to show you guys in like 1 minute or something like that. First of all, I want to show you that on the 1-hour time frame, just to make it all make a bit more sense, we are still in an uptrend. Okay, so let me be very clear. On this lower time frame, we are still in an uptrend. So therefore, so long as we're not losing this ascending line of support, technically Bitcoin is simply trending to the upside. And especially if we invalidate that bearish breakout pattern at 85.5k, likely we would see a continuation to the upside in the short term. That would be the most bullish outlook on the 1-hour time frame. However, guys, on the 2-hour time frame, we should take note of the fact that we have this rising wedge pattern, which is more likely to break to the downside. Now, of course, it does not guarantee that it is going to break to the downside, but it is simply more likely. So in terms of the point of the breakout, currently that is sitting at around 82.3k in the Bitcoin price, and this does trend up over time. However, of course, it is also possible that it actually breaks to the upside, although this is less likely than it breaking to the downside, like I said. However, if it breaks to the upside, that would actually be quite bullish in the short term for Bitcoin as well, especially if you take all of these factors into consideration, where we would be invalidating this bearish breakout. We would also be invalidating this short-term bearish rising wedge pattern. Some people might even be looking at this symmetrical triangle pattern and saying like, yes, this is now breaking out to the upside. Yeah, at that point, things are starting to look pretty bullish. Like I said, do be warned for this FOMC meeting on Wednesday, because very often with these FOMC meetings, you're going to see like fake outs to the upside or to the downside. So like I said, be warned about that. Either way, let's take a look at the 1-day time frame for Bitcoin, because we do still have this bullish divergence on the 1-day time frame. In the case that you don't know, a bullish divergence is when we have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. And typically this points towards us getting a break from all of this bearish price action that we have been seeing here recently, either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum on the 1-day time frame. Now, if you're looking for a real like confirmation on the higher time frame that likely we are getting another bigger move to the upside, potentially even up to 100k, or blasting through that 100k level and going much higher from there, then first we need to break this critical level of resistance, which is currently sitting at around 90.5k, and this does trend down over time as well. For me personally, at least, what I am really looking for on the 1-day time frame is the breakout above this. Although if you want to be in a little bit earlier, you could also be looking for a breakout above this descending trend line in the RSI momentum indicator, because this could also be some confluence that we are indeed getting the move to the upside. And you could also be using this as invalidation, because if we break above here and then trade back below, then that could be the invalidation for your bullish idea on the 1-day time frame. Right now it is looking like it is more likely that we are first going to break out above the RSI downtrend than us breaking out above the downtrend in the actual price. And again, the highest probability setup is breaking above resistance in the price and in the RSI as well. Next, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Right now, there is some liquidity to the upside sitting at around 85.5k, with a bunch of liquidity just piling up to the upside here. However, there is also liquidity to the downside, for example, at around this 81.5k level. So for example, if I take a look at the 3-day time frame, right here you can see that around the 85k level, we have the biggest pocket of liquidity in the short term. However, there is also liquidity to the downside at that 83.3k level and even at around 81.9k. Most importantly, though, is that we do still have massive liquidity sitting at around this 75k level, where we have close to $20 billion worth of long positions that would get taken out if the Bitcoin price reaches that level. However, there is also massive liquidity sitting at around 85.7k. So something to potentially watch out for is during this FOMC meeting on Wednesday, if the price just continues in this short-term uptrend that we are currently in, perhaps during FOMC, you could see a big sweep of all of that liquidity, potentially even as high as close to 87,000. So be aware that there is massive liquidity up to that level there. Of course, I'm not saying that that is guaranteed going to happen. I'm just telling you, like, be aware of that massive liquidity very close to where we are currently trading, because that liquidity is literally sitting right here. And of course, most of the liquidity is to the upside, for example, sitting at around this 100k level, where we have close to $30 billion worth of short positions that would get taken out if we reach that level. Either way, guys, this has been today's market update. Make sure to be subscribed to the channel with notifications on so you do not miss any of these important update videos. But either way, if you do end up subscribing or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.